I'll never forget the night I decided to explore the dark web. Curiosity got the better of me, and as a tech-savvy insomniac, I figured I could handle whatever I came across. I had read all the guides, use a VPN, go through the Tor browser, don't click on any random links, but nothing could have prepared me for what I found. After some aimless browsing, I stumbled upon a site called The Blind Banker, where currency has no soul. Should have been my first warning, but I clicked anyway. The page loaded a simple black background with a chat box and a Bitcoin wallet address prominently displayed. Below it, there was a single line of text: "Deposit to see the unfiltered truth." I hesitated. The wallet address had already received thousands of dollars worth of Bitcoin, as the transaction log showed. I transferred a small amount, just 0.01 BTC. Within seconds, a new window opened, revealing what looked like a live streaming interface. At first, it was just static, then the screen flickered to life. A dimly lit room came into focus. A man sat tied to a chair, his face bruised and bloodied. His muffled cries were barely audible through the gag in his mouth. A figure, dressed in black with a featureless mask, walked into view and held up a handwritten sign: "Choose his fate." A poll appeared at the bottom of the screen with three options: release, torture, or put to sleep. Each option had a Bitcoin price tag next to it. The numbers for torture and put to sleep were steadily climbing as viewers placed their bids. I realized with a sickening knot in my stomach that this wasn't just a video, it was a live stream, and the audience was funding whatever would happen next. I scrambled to close the browser, but my mouse froze. The chat box next to the stream filled with messages. "Don't leave now. You've paid your entry fee. Please stay and see what your curiosity bought." Then a new message popped up, directly addressing me by my username. "You made a payment. You're a part of this now." My heart raced as my screen filled with Bitcoin wallet addresses, each labeled with my real name and personal information. It dawned on me. They tracked me somehow. If I left, if I told anyone, they'd expose everything: my identity, my actions, and worse, they might come after me. The poll ended. Torture had won. I forced myself to watch as the masked figure advanced on the man in the chair. His screams tore through the speakers, each one a reminder of the price of my morbid curiosity. The stream ended abruptly after an hour, replaced by a message: "Come back anytime. Your seat is reserved." Later that night, I disconnected my computer, smashed the hard drive, and vowed never to touch the dark web again. But the Bitcoin address tied to my name still haunts me. Every few weeks, I receive a cryptic message in my email. No words, just a link and a single, ominous phrase: "We know you're watching." I wasn't looking for trouble when I went on the dark web. Honestly, I was just bored. It was a Friday night, and my friends had bailed on plans. After a few hours of mindless scrolling on social media, I decided to dive into the hidden corners of the internet. People always talked about how scary it was, but I thought most of it was overblown. At first, it was dull. Forums discussing obscure topics, sketchy marketplaces selling everything from counterfeit passports to untraceable weapons. It wasn't until I clicked on a link labeled The Mirror that I started to regret my decision. The site was strange, just a black screen with a video feed in the middle. The feed showed what looked like a dimly lit room, empty, except for a chair. I almost closed it out, but then I noticed something. The timestamp in the corner was today's date. Not just that, it was the exact time as well. I stared at the feed, trying to figure it out. The room was still empty, but then the camera moved. It panned slowly as if someone was adjusting it manually, until it focused on a large mirror on the wall. The mirror reflected the room back, but something was off. The reflection wasn't empty. In the mirror, a man stood in the corner, dressed in dark clothes with his head tilted downward. He wasn't in the actual room, only in the reflection. He stood there, perfectly still, almost like he was waiting for something. A message popped up on the screen. Turn off your lights. My heart skipped a beat. I glanced around my room. The only light on was the lamp beside me. I shook my head, muttering to myself that it was just a prank. A well-done video. Then the camera feed changed. The dimly lit room was gone, replaced with my room. My desk, my chair, my bed. Everything. And in the reflection of the mirror on the screen, the man stood in the corner of my room, his head still tilted downward. I froze. My lamp flickered. A second message appeared. You are not alone. I spun around, expecting to see him, but the corner was empty. My chest was heaving now, and my hands were shaking so badly I could barely control the mouse. I clicked to close the browser, but the screen wouldn't budge. The video continued, and this time, the man in the reflection moved. He lifted his head slowly, his face still obscured by shadows. Then he took a single step forward, toward the screen, toward me. The camera feed went black, replaced by a single line of text. Look behind you. I didn't turn around. I just unplugged my computer, grabbed my phone, and ran out of my house. I haven't been back since. I don't know if he was ever really there, or if it was just my imagination. But I've learned one thing. Curiosity isn't worth what you might find waiting for you on the dark web. I had always heard horror stories about the dark web, but I thought most of them were exaggerated. I was a cybersecurity student, so I told myself I could handle it. Just some weird sites, dodgy marketplaces, and maybe a few conspiracy forums. I wasn't scared. I wanted to see what the hype was all about. I downloaded the Tor browser, set up a VPN, and started browsing. For the first hour, it was exactly what I expected. Poorly designed sites, strange chat rooms, and endless lists of links that led nowhere. But then I found something unusual. A site called The Archive. Its description read, "Preserving moments that last forever." Curious, I clicked. The homepage was simple. A plain white background with a search bar and a single line of text underneath. Type any name. I hesitated. Was it some kind of database? A directory? Out of curiosity, I typed my name and pressed enter. A loading icon spun for a few seconds before a video thumbnail appeared. It was blurry, but I recognized the room instantly. It was my bedroom. My stomach dropped. I clicked on the video, and my blood turned to ice. The footage showed me sitting at my desk, scrolling through my phone. It wasn't recorded yesterday or last week. It was live. I stared at the screen in disbelief, then glanced around my room. No camera, no obvious recording device, nothing. But there I was, in perfect clarity, on this website. Panicking, I grabbed a piece of tape and covered my laptop's webcam. I knew it was paranoid, but what else could I do? I refreshed the page, and the video disappeared. For a moment, I felt relieved. Maybe it was a glitch. Then new text appeared on the screen. "You can't hide from us." A second video thumbnail loaded. This time, it wasn't my room. It was my parents' living room. My mom was sitting on the couch watching TV, completely unaware she was being filmed. My phone buzzed on the desk. I picked it up and saw a text from an unknown number. "Do not touch the power cord." My hand froze. They were watching me. Right now. Whoever was behind this could see every move I made. I didn't unplug the computer. Instead, I typed into the site's chat box. "What do you want?" The response came immediately. "Send 1 Bitcoin to the address below, or we archive her next." Attached was a new video thumbnail. My mom again. Only this time a masked figure stood in the corner of the room, partially hidden by the shadows. I don't even own a single Bitcoin or even know what Bitcoin is. I sat there trembling, trying to think of what to do. Call the police? Run? Before I could decide, the screen went black. A new message appeared. Too late. I grabbed my phone and called my mom. She picked up after the first ring, her voice calm and casual. Nothing was wrong. She was perfectly fine. I wanted to believe her, but I couldn't shake the image of that masked figure standing behind her. The next day, the website was gone, as if it had never existed. I still don't know who they were or what they wanted, but I can't stop wondering. Was it just a scare tactic? Or did I miss my chance to stop something far worse?